Hi, it's Anne Marie with AM Astrology, and I was going to take a look at the new moon coming up on January 11th. So I shall share my screen. And why does this keep coming up? There we go. Okay, so here we see the Capricorn new moon at 20 degrees 44 minutes of Capricorn, which is my Mercury, right on, to the minute, conjunct my Mercury. So we'll see what that does for me. On January 11th at 6:58 a.m., and I have it set for Washington, D.C. This lunation, the first thing that I see is that it is square the nodes. So at the bending of the nodes, and so that adds some karmic tension to this lunation. Capricorn, of course, is about, we've been talking about Pluto in Capricorn. We've been dealing with the top-down structures being brought to light, what's wrong with them, how they're not working, the things that we need to change with them. And so this final new moon with Pluto in Capricorn is kind of like the start of what's going to change. Saturn rules this lunation because it is in Capricorn, and Saturn, of course, rules Capricorn. And Saturn is conveniently at a semi-square to this. So it's like the midpoint between the lunation and the nodes. Exactly 45 degrees. Well, it's 44 and change to Saturn, and then 45 and change to the nodes. So what that midpoint would then, it's pulling these things all together, and Saturn has something to say about it. It's a tense position because let's see, I had oh, dogs, please don't start. So when August, no, no, no. So when we have the sun represents life purpose and ego definition, and the moon is our emotional fulfillment and of emotional fulfillment needs. And so those are combined. That's the, if you think about that in Capricorn as a new moon, as a seed point, it's like, okay, life purpose and ego definition and emotional fulfillment and needs, that's who we are, what we need. And then the nodal point, the north node, this is Rahu, and that stands for relationship with the public, and it's in Aries. So you get this idea of, what is the public doing about this? Like this, the seed is being planted, and we've got this Aries initiation. Let's get started. It's a new moon. It's let's get started. In Capricorn, where we've already been dealing with, all the baggage of the patriarchy and the top-down government issues. And this is the final new moon while Pluto is in Capricorn. Final new moon in Capricorn while Pluto is in Capricorn. So co-present with Pluto. And so then Saturn as the midpoint then represents necessary controls, structure, stability, discipline, foundation, ambition, determination, rules, restrictions, restraint, repression, constriction, delays, tradition, authority figures, status quo, and frustration. So the idea of a semi-square is, it's a very tense aspect. And I was looking at this initially thinking like it was, an opening semi-square, but it is actually not, because both the sun and the moon are faster than Saturn. So it would be a closing semi-square. And so I wanted to look up what that closing semi-square would be. So 360 minus 45 is 315. So it's this one. Or would we go to that other one? No, it was approaching. It was approaching. So yeah. Okay. So this is the balsamic phase itself is incredibly important because anything that has occurred in the entire cycle, whatever is unfinished or incomplete relative to the original intention, will be brought to a head in this phase. In many ways, this is an archetype of frustration, as the soul remembers it has encountered so much of the process before, and yet it is still happening, still needing to be let go of. The key meaning of this phase is in a concentric expansion of consciousness, the essence of which is detachment, disengagement. Therefore, opportunities for reflection need to be created in order to bring issues to culmination. Yeah, so doesn't this sound like this is the beginning of the end? I mean, that's to me what I'm seeing in this is like this new moon beginning of the end of the Capricorn structure. So what this lunation then brings us to in this cycle, the full moon will then be in Aquarius. And I believe that that happens right when Pluto moves into Aquarius. Oh, I don't want to do that. Go away. No, cancel. How did you all come up here? So if we animate this, let's just animate this and see days. Let's go days to see where that Aquarius. Too far. Too far. So it's roughly there. So January 25th. So yes, so Pluto will have gone into Aquarius at that point. The significations of this lunation, which I'm not supposed to be talking about, but I just wanted to see, like, this is the beginning of the end, was my point. Close out, go back. So yeah, this is, I think, the beginning of the end of what we've been learning about our the structures that aren't working for us, the foundations that we need to change, and the top-down process that the authority is in charge and telling the people what to do. And now as everything moves into Aquarius, the people are going to start speaking up and we're going to start hearing more about it. The fact that this is on my Mercury is fun for me because I'm thinking, because Mercury is communication, right? And so here I am doing a video for the first time in this year, and we'll see if hopefully I can be doing more of these going forward. Mars is ruling the third house of communication and is in Capricorn, where it is exalted, and it is in a sextile to that Saturn. So it's in communication as well, but this is more like this communication. This is just kind of like, it's almost like he's sitting on the bus listening to the conversation. He's not necessarily participating in it, or he's heard the conversation because he's moving in. So he's already past the exactness of it. So Mars is like, I overheard this conversation on the bus on my way to wherever I'm going, you know, in where I'm in charge, because I'm exalted here. I've got all the resources. I've got all the glory being exalted in Capricorn. So, but I don't have to necessarily do anything, but being Mars, of course he is. So he's like, he's connected with what Saturn's doing here in this semi-square situation here, where Saturn's being moving the strings, pulling the strings between this lunation and the nodal axis. And so Mars is a part of it. He's pulled in there. And then Jupiter, of course, is also in a sextile. And Jupiter's over here in Taurus, has recently, well, a week and a half before, but still moving pretty slowly from its station from retrograde. And so Jupiter is like saying, I'm all about promoting this thing because, you know, as you know, there's this trine between Mars and Jupiter, so they're in conversation. That trine. Now this is like, dude, we need to talk because I overheard this thing on the bus, and this is what's going to happen. And Jupiter's like, yeah, well, let's do it. I'm ready to go. I've got all of this, all these resources, and I'm ready to support this and move forward and expand it and make it a big deal. And so all of this conversation is going on with this seeding here, this beginning of the end. And these conversations, you can see they're all happening. Jupiter is ruling part of the second house. It's kind of a co-ruling the second house, and it's ruling the 12th house. So we've got this, hidden enemies idea, this lock them up. It's like, let's, where you go and you never come back from. And then the second house is our resources and our finances and the things that we have for ourselves. So Jupiter's in charge of all of that. He's got the funds, and he also has hidden resources, or hidden, not resources, but places to confine, to whenever they pull everybody, round them all up, he's got the place to put them, right? And it's also interesting, how he's exactly sitting here on the end of the matter, the cusp of the fourth house, the IC. This is the end of the matter. Very angular. In fact, we've got lots of angularity going on here, but that's right on the angle. So, and if you're going to have somebody with the purse strings and going to be putting you somewhere, and Jupiter is resources and what is the word I'm looking for? Well, a benefactor, but the great benefic, justice. It's like he stands for justice and for making sure that things are going the way they should go. So I like Mars having a conversation with Jupiter. I like that. I like that they're on the same team here. They're both in Earth signs, and they're in that applying trine where where it's working towards something. There's so much going on in this chart, so I just wanted to come on. I just wanted to pop on and say that this is going to be a great new moon to set intentions and to clean house. This is the beginning of the end. Think of it that way: the beginning of the end of the things that have been holding us down, have been holding us back. We're moving into Aquarius, where the people take back the power. It's going to be great. So thanks for watching. Please like and share, and we will see you soon. Bye-bye. Happy New Year.